Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for your time. My name is Siddhant, and I'm the founder of Clearbot, a company called OpenOcean Engineering. And what we do is build artificially intelligent electric boats. So most of you, I'm sure, have seen around Hong Kong Harbor or in Aberdeen, these old workboats. They look like this, right? And of course, they're littered all over the city over here. Now, these workboats are a very important part of the infrastructure in terms of marine services in Hong Kong. But they're actually really, really difficult to run. So each of these boats requires 2 to 3 people to operate, plus the driver, and they're very expensive. The labor can cost over $150 per day per person. And these boats are also quite polluting. So they run on either diesel or petrol engines, and they do not comply with incoming environmental standards. So not only is the fuel expensive, but actually these boats are just going to be replaced in the next 10 years because of the environmental norms. And so what we're seeing is actually, this is not just in Hong Kong, but this is a kind of a global shift because of incoming regulation from the International Maritime Organization. Overall, the marine industry is actually shifting. So with larger ships, they're trying to move to hydrogen fuels or methane fuels. But with smaller boats, everyone's trying to go all electric with batteries. And due to new technology breakthroughs, it's now possible for us to actually use artificial intelligence offline on electric boats. And so that's why we believe the future of this industry is actually electric and autonomous. The operational expense of running an automated electric boat is 80% lower than a manual diesel-powered boat. And there's less insurance and less logistical effort. And so this is our solution. Our solution is called Clearbot. It's basically, we wish to be the Tesla of industrial boats. And what we have is an autonomous boat platform, which can automate a number of marine services. So we fit a bunch of different modules that we buy basically on the back of our boat. And using that, Clearbot can do weed, algae, and marine waste removal, oil removal, desilting, automated marine patrolling, and seabed surveys. Each boat has a payload capacity of 300 kilograms, and very quickly, it's already in operation. Our machine is ready, and we already have clients. And we have actually 2 boats around Hong Kong running in different projects. We're able to cut the cost of operation literally by 4x compared to manual boats. And for our clients, the operating effort in terms of logistics is actually much, much lower. We're starting with marine contract services, so that includes things like waste removal, oil cleanup, and marine inspections. But eventually, we want to start doing dredging. And the vision eventually is to use this technology in a 10-year period to actually move containers from one place to another. But we think marine contract services is the perfect entry point because even if it's a smaller market, because the adoption is much higher since the pain point is much higher in this space. And really the opportunity is here in the Greater Bay Area, in Hong Kong and China, because that's where a lot of this marine infrastructure development is actually happening right now. Our business model is very, very simple. We rent our boats out for about $6,000 a month. We make a margin on that. We basically our cost is really just maintenance. Operations very, very low cost because it's all electric, mostly automated. And use cases can be everything from land reclamation projects, river maintenance, harbor maintenance, water sampling, desilting, and so on. And we actually help our clients who are like usually marine contractors get large tenders from the government because of our technology. So, and we sell directly to the government right now. So we're building credibility, which makes it easier for marine contractors to actually hire us. So in terms of competitors, we're not the only players in the market. There are other companies, but most of them actually sell to military, because of which they cannot sell outside their own country to for commercial or government contracts. This is kind of our competitive edge, because since we are not selling to any military body, we're able to go directly to other governments and sell them our product without any IP issues. Now, in the last 6 months, we've done $240,000 of sales, mostly with government departments, property management companies. And we've actually built both our supply chain partnerships and our demand side partnerships. So we sell to 3 companies, at least 3 companies that are over $1 billion in revenue, and we believe we can scale with just them. So our team has experience in both deep tech and in the marine industry. And today we're looking to raise $800,000, hopefully go to the next stage of the JUMPSTARTER competition. So thank you.
I have one question. Is the boat autonomous or remote control or both?
That's a good question. The answer is actually both. in some areas, because of the safety requirement, it has to be run remote control with a human operator. It can also be run fully autonomous without any human intervention. So it depends on the client.
Do you envisage any difficulty getting the permit to allow the boat to be operated in, say, Hong Kong waters or nearby countries?
Sure, that's a very good question. So to be honest, most of the areas we work in are designated marine construction sites, and so we don't need a license. Even in Hong Kong, because of the size and the power requirement, we are actually small. If we're under 3 meters, we're under 5 horsepower, so we don't actually necessarily need a class license to operate everywhere. Now, there are some restricted areas, for example, near the harbor, near the airport, where we actually do need a special license as a machine to operate. But for most areas, we actually don't need a license.
Are you sure that Tesla is the best way to position your company in the autonomous boat space? I mean, I can't imagine Tesla would be doing garbage removal.
No, I think that's fair criticism. If I had to give you, I don't know, we really think of it as actually more like Caterpillar, because they build industrial machines that solve like very specific, but Caterpillar isn't doing anything electric, and it's funny. I mean, it's just a kind of tagline, I guess, because it gives people a reference of what we're doing in terms of electrifying sort of an industrial process.
All jokes aside, I think it's a pretty cool thing. I'm just curious how you guys do like the autonomous driving on the water. I mean, is it like a SLAM software, or is it like you use infrared? I mean, like what kind of technologies do you use to help navigate on the water?
We use GPS, which is our basic core, but then we use LiDAR and SLAM to do object avoidance and local area mapping. And on top of that, we actually, as a third input, use the camera itself. So typically for us, well, for example, if you're doing oil cleaning or trash cleaning, then the camera can be used to guide the bot somewhere, and then the GPS and the LiDAR are there to make sure we're geo-fenced and avoiding any objects.
How much sea mileage do you have in terms of no collision?
So 2 questions. One was mileage. So mileage, we do about 10 kilometers is the range on a single battery charge right now. And the second is, how do we avoid collisions? So the answer is, it depends on the speed we're operating at, which we set when we decide which site we're working on with the client. For example, we've got a project now in a yacht marina, in the Gold Coast Yacht Marina. Over there, the distances are really tight. So the other boats are like less than 5 meters, 10 meters away, right? So we can even operate that close. But again, it depends on the site. So if we're in fairly open water, then the boat can move quicker, and then we can have larger distances. But if it's very tight, then we need to move a bit slower around other boats.
Okay, time is up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.